Coming to you from the frigid East Coast because the blasted groundhog saw its shadow, so we've literally had nothing but winter and windstorms and all this other stuff. But there is a news story blowing in the wind about a Nintendo Direct. Now, keep in mind, this is just speculation and also arguments between, we'll say, two high-profile Nintendo-like people in the industry. One being Spawnwave, who I'm sure many of you know who Spawnwave is. He's been pretty lucky with his guesses over the years, and he may or may not have an insider. And then you have, of course, PH Brazil, who has a very, I wouldn't say dubious reputation, but they're pretty infamous. Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. So both of these gentlemen are saying that a Nintendo Direct is happening this month for the Nintendo Switch 1. Now, me being the skeptic that I am, there's only a few weeks left of February, and I would know this being a February baby and my birthday looming ever closer, but find the, I wouldn't say bickering, but the differences in opinion that these two guys have to offer about the supposed February Direct. And we're going to talk about it because one says it's a full-blown Nintendo Direct, although they've basically walked it back. And the other one says it's going to be a shadow drop of just a quick 15-minute mini Direct on possibly some, we'll say, remasters and collections for Nintendo Switch 1. Hello internets, Kwing here, and I'm bundled up nice and warm as the wind continues to blow outside of my house and basically shake my tiny little abode here. And I don't really like it. In fact, the lights have been flickering and I'm really worried that we're going to lose power again. We've had several brownouts this week, and several of my live streams have been impacted from it. But that's besides the point. So, Nintendo Direct, is it happening? Well, we do have a pretty good track record of Nintendo Directs of some capacity releasing in February. And well, since it is February, it could be any day. Is it happening? I don't know. I like to speculate along with the rest of you because I love Nintendo Directs. They're a lot of fun, and I think April's a ways off until, you know, the really big one for Switch 2. But what about Switch 1? What is going on with Switch 1? No one's talking about that system. There's still plenty of games that are going to release for it in this last year and until 2026. But mum's the word. Nobody knows anything. So when is the best possible time strategically to release a Nintendo Direct? It would be February or at the end of February. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, I don't think it's going to happen. And of course, the internet is, battling each other back and forth because there's literally no news right now. People either just make up stuff or they run with rumors and they make videos. And, well, you get where I'm going with this. But Spawnwave, I tend to be more on his side of things because, well, let's put it to you this way. Nintendo Switch 2 had its official reveal, and just by miracle, Spawnwave had a video release a few hours after. Now, just so you know, these news videos that I do take several hours to put together. So the fact that he already had his video ready to go an hour after the reveal, I mean, either he's a, speedster when it comes to putting together videos, or something's not on the up and up. I'm just saying. It takes time to put these crappy videos together. For most people, even if you have an editor, I mean, at least 2 to 3 hours tops, to get something like this done. But anyway, that's besides the point. So, whether or not Spawnwave actually has an insider, he'll never tell us. There's always things on his podcast over the years where you can tell the guy may or may not have insiders based on how he words things and his mannerisms and things like that. And trust me, as someone who used to have inside information, you have to be very careful how you divulge certain things from game developers, because if you're not just wrong, but if you're too on the nail, then it becomes less speculation and more, hey, you knew what was cooking, and, well, you're in trouble with their legal department. So you really have to be very, very careful how you approach very delicate things. So if he does know something, he's not going to tell you guys. So, I mean, probably poking and prodding the poor man is not really going to help anybody. But I like to think that he's right more times than he's wrong. So I agree with his stance that probably what we're getting is a Nintendo Direct that will focus on a mini Direct or an indie Direct. I like the idea of a mini Direct talking about remasters and remakes because that's definitely Nintendo's MO lately. They're really trying to capitalize on that, and also we've had that rumor for years that Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD were coming to Switch 1. Did they ever? No. But the rumor still won't die. there are still people defending, like, to the death on their little hill that these Zelda remasters of Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD are going to make it to the Switch 1. Now, their reasoning for that is because most of the remasters and remakes from the Wii U made it on the Switch, so that is their argument that they're willing to, you know, defend to the death. And personally, yeah, I think it'd be great to have Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD. Twilight Princess is still my favorite 3D Zelda game of all time. It was dark, gritty, great story, fun gameplay, amazing combat, and it just, I don't know, it felt like a mature Zelda experience that most of us 80s kids were waiting for. Breath of the Wild was great, and Tears of the Kingdom was, you know, Tears of the Kingdom. But the thing is, Twilight Princess felt like it was a game that was, you know, more in line with people who grew up with the original Legend of Zelda. It was our graduation, in a sense, from being kids to adults. That's, you know, and also I got married in 2006 when the game came out, so, you know, I literally went into adulthood. But anyway, so I think it's probable, you know, you could get that HD remaster, and they're going to want to do something with the whole Metroid Prime thing. That's a given. Whether or not during the Switch 2 reveal they announce the big Metroid collection 1 through 3 again or whatever, we'll see. But it would make sense from a marketing standpoint, and Nintendo is actually very good at what they do by getting these type of franchises and their collections to kind of coincide with each other. And literally, because nothing is really going on in the world of Nintendo that they want us to know about, it would make sense to kind of shadow drop a Nintendo Direct when people aren't expecting it. Because the news right now is heavily focused on Monster Hunter and Stellar Blade and what was that? First Descendant and things like that. And there's really not a lot of Nintendo news. Donkey Kong has already come and gone. You've got a few games releasing in March, but no really big names. Sorry, Xenoblade. There are some people that really like Xenoblade, and they'll definitely buy it. For most RPG fans, they're probably going to pass on it. So it's not really a big, we'll say, console seller when the game actually comes out. So Nintendo's going to need something else that's actually going to draw people's attention. What would be the perfect thing to pique their interest before the Switch 2? A Zelda collection. Because, let's face it, Zelda sells. I'm a Zelda fan myself, so I would be first in line to get a Zelda collection for Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess, because, I mean, you can play most games from the Legend of Zelda franchise on the Switch. That's pretty incredible. There's also, you know, some things floating around that it could be Pokemon-centered. Now, Pokemon's doing a lot with their card game and Pokemon Go, and that Pokemon game that was teased and nothing came from it. So if Nintendo really wants to do something Pokemon-related, which they have a history of doing in February, then it could be Pokemon-related. Whether it's a Nintendo Direct or a Pokemon Direct, we'll most likely cover it, so you can be there with us when it actually happens. But I would be more in the line of, I would love to see a Nintendo Direct of some kind about what in the world is going on with Switch 1, because we still have several months before the Switch 2 Direct, and Nintendo is just kind of ignoring all the games that are coming out on Switch 1. They've barely updated the Nintendo YouTube channel with all the new trailers for upcoming games, and some games that they said are coming out haven't really released yet. Case in point, one of the games that we're playing called Big Head Heroes or whatever, supposed to come out on Switch a while ago, and yet it still hasn't released. So, I mean, what's going on with that? Are they waiting for a Nintendo Direct to officially reveal some of these games? There's some big indie titles coming out over the next 2 months. No info about that whatsoever. And, you know, it's not like everybody goes to Nintendo's little eShop page to look at all the upcoming releases. It's not like they're YouTubers and journalists and keeping track of when the new games are dropping. People don't do that. They watch the Nintendo Directs. They watch Nintendo's Twitter, and, you know, it's pretty quiet. And that's not really good for Nintendo, because right now they kind of have a little bit of the industry's momentum because of the big hype about the Switch 2. But Switch 1 still has a little bit of time left. And it would make, you know, logical sense to do a Nintendo Direct now. And also, there's really nothing going on in February, so having people talk more about Nintendo, pretty much their competitors have slow releases from now until April. I mean, Nintendo is, you know, in a great position to kind of steal everybody's thunder and get the whole internet gabbing about them. Will they do it? I don't know. They're Nintendo, you know. They have their own plan, and they might even be putting all their eggs in one basket for the Switch 2. I hope not. But, you know, I'm still pretty hyped about the Switch 2, but I would love to see some information about what's happening with Switch 1, because the games that they've revealed is not enough to fill out a whole year, and if you actually go to your eShop, they've been releasing a lot of games that you probably aren't even aware of. Some of them I've covered on this channel, and they're weird. Like that dating sim thing. But anyway, now I want to hear from you guys and gals. How do you feel about the supposed Nintendo Direct? Do you think it's going to happen? Do you think Brazil is right? Do you think Spawnwave is right? Or do you think I'm right? And, you know, whatever. Just let me know. I'm always curious to hear what you guys and gals think. Personally, I hope a Direct happens. We'll cover it. And if it doesn't, you know, I guess we'll just have to wait till April. But I'm not a very patient person, and I'm sure you guys aren't either. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. Make sure you guys check out the short that released earlier today. The link is in the description. And there's some other gaming topic videos that you can listen to about multiverses if you're so inclined. I'll see you guys live later today as we're going to be kicking off President's Day and doing some fun stuff. All right, people. God bless. Happy gaming. Thanks so much for watching. Keep it locked here for more news on Nintendo and other video game related topics in the future. Later.